How's it going? Welcome to Coach's Corner, your inside track to different high school programs throughout the city of Marlboro. I'm your host, Matt Bisaccio, and today I'm joined by AMSA baseball coach Jon Gendron. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we get into the team, the season, anything like that, let's talk about you and maybe some of your experiences growing up with youth athletics. How did you grow up with the sport?
I've been playing since I remembered. I grew up in Shirley, Massachusetts, T-ball right on up. I'm still involved with playing softball, baseball, basketball. It's part of my everyday life, whether it's in season or not.
What other sports? Did you play anything else besides just baseball and basketball?
Yeah, I golfed as well in high school. Growing up, recreationally, I played some soccer, kind of anything that had a ball and some running.
What led you to maybe sticking more towards baseball than the others?
Probably my skill set with the best chance of making it somewhere.
How about how did it translate into you wanting to become a coach?
So, never really imagined being a coach till probably close to as I got to my late 20s, and I just started getting a little less competitive and thinking back to what got me into sports in the first place, and thinking back on a lot of the coaches that I had and all the work they put in, and pretty much getting paid little to nothing.
Right.
Waking up before school and working out with me if I wanted, and just wanting to give back to the kids and teach them some of the stuff that I've learned.
Was there any coaches, like you said, there was a couple of coaches, name one, was there one that stuck out to
I
you?
had two really influential coaches. I had Mike Ledger in middle school who coached my basketball and baseball, and he was a former pro baseball player, pitcher, ambidextrous, could throw both hands.
Yeesh.
He used to throw batting practice to us both sides, just switch his glove over, and
that's wild.
He was a huge influence for me, and my high school coach and college coach was Kurt Russell, who's a very hard-nosed coach and tough to play for, but that's what I loved about him and what made me the person and player I became, and he taught me a lot. So those two guys really stood out.
Now, the second one that you had mentioned, you said he's real intense. Is that something that you kind of take into your style, or are you a little bit more laid back with your players?
Yeah, so I tried to learn from that. I noticed at the high school level, at Air High School, which is small school, you can't really deal with all of the kids that same way. I was a type of personality that responded to the hard-nosed, but my brother, on the other hand, that wasn't the style that worked for him. So I saw him kind of get into his shell and kind of hide and stay and not excel from that. And so I tried to read personalities and not have one specific style for any certain person. I try to go case by case, person by person, and see what makes each person tick, each player tick, and hopefully get something to click between him and I and figure something out. It's baseball being one of those sports that you might not ever really figure out. You fail so much in it, and
it's such a mental game to begin with. You can't sit there and rupture the relationship between a coach and a player, because then you never get through to the kid.
Right. And I really believe in positive reinforcement and really staying positive and breeding positivity and just keep that mindset rather than getting down on yourself or yelling at a kid. Most of the time when I yell at a kid, it's not doing them any good. They're going to get more tight. They're not going to play to their potential because I'm in their head.
Right.
I want to keep them up. I want to pick them up and keep them positive and confident and have some swagger inside their head anyway, that they believe in themselves and they think they're the best player on the field. I think if you can get a player to be as comfortable as possible, you're going to bring out their greatest potential, and that's what I'm trying to do. And some guys want it a little more hard-nosed, and they need you to keep them honest and keep them working hard. And then other kids, you got to just stay behind them. So it's one of those things that I try to really read each player and kind of try to figure them out go from there.
Yeah. What about as far as like your in-game management style? Are you known to be more aggressive? Are you letting guys maybe just kind of hit, like, you know, like whenever like a situation comes up, like last night we were talking about before, ninth inning in a major league game that I watched. Ninth inning, road team's down by 1, they get the leadoff runner on base. Now instead of, you know, playing small ball, bunch them over and having those 2 opportunities with the guy at second base and 1 out, they chose the route of 3 opportunities with the guy at first. The first guy strikes out, the next 2 guys ground out, game over. Now, in that kind of a situation, what are you doing as far as that's concerned? Are you going to play that small ball tactic, or are you going to let your guys hit in the box?
I would say typically I tend to lean towards driving balls and not playing small ball. I like to see line drives and hits, and I really try to teach each player that they can hit a gap and they can drive the ball. But in that specific instance, I would probably look at who I have up in the lineup. My middle guys, my 2, 3, 4, probably my 1 through 5, I most likely would see what they can do and put my faith in them. And if I'm got small ball guys up that really can't drive the gaps as well, I probably bunt them over and give another small ball guy an opportunity to get a base hit, just a single to get the job done. I think that I need to grow as a coach and play more small ball. I'm trying to incorporate that a little bit more.
Take it when it comes?
Yeah, because as a player, I was never a small ball player. I never liked that side of it, but I do understand that it can be the difference between wins and losses, and a lot of times, especially with our team in the past, we've had trouble hitting the ball and keep hitting the ball hard and keeping them honest, and we've been more of a single small ball type of club, and I need to be a little bit more flexible with that, and I think I'm learning to be.
How about on the base paths? You know, are you just somebody that will put runners in motion to put runners in motion, or is that something that you base strictly off the fact that is the guy fast or is he not?
I'd say we have very fast teams, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Between having a fast team and the catching not being too strong, typically, I find myself running often. But again, that's each game. You kind of take a look and see how quick the pitcher is to the plate and how quick that catcher is and how good of an arm he has. But for the most part, that's I would say that's our defense, pitching, and speed on the base pass. Those are our strengths on this squad, and I plan to run quite a bit.
Do you ever delve into shifting or do anything really like that?
I have not done too much shifting.
What are your thoughts on it in general? Say at the professional level, do you agree with being able to use it every single batter? Do you think there should be a limit on it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think you should be able to set up your defense however you want to. I don't know if I'm just a little bit old school and I haven't opened my mind to it too much, but I don't do enough scouting to know who's a 100% pull guy. I'm not doing any scouting personally. I'm not going out. I don't know any of the players, so
I'm sure
I'm not going to push anybody one side or the other. I'll play them straight up. I might do some double play depth type stuff, but for the most part, I'm just doing small movements and really trying to teach the kids to read what that batter's doing and how our pitcher's pitching them. And if you see a catcher, you're a middle infield guy, and you see your catcher move to the outside and call an off-speed pitch, you're thinking rollover if you're going to get one at short, or outside, you're moving to the middle as a shortstop and you're thinking the other way just off of where he's setting up. And if a guy's been early on every swing, you're playing him pull side.
Right.
It's one of those things that you try to teach them so that you don't have to coach that during the game, and that they're moving on their own and they're making those little observations.
Yeah. I was speaking with your assistant coach, and who's in his first year. He says that you have a couple of seniors, but your squad is mainly juniors and sophomores, heavy sophomores.
Yes.
Now that bodes pretty well for you guys going forward the next couple of years. Now, how do you feel about the future of the program?
We are right where we want to be with our program, age-wise and numbers-wise. I think we have a really strong squad, but we got to put in the work and we got to go do it. We got to go perform. But, you know, practice-wise, these guys practice the right way. They play hard. And talent-wise, I think we have a lot of talent, and at a young age that is already developing. I might be biased. I might be looking at that, you know, in a nutshell, because I've been out of the game a while, and high school game a while, and I'm kind of relating this to the last time I was playing college ball, but they look really strong, and it's just about going out there, believing in themselves and doing it.
So you think that you have what it takes to contend for a Colonial League title?
Next 3 years, we have what it takes to contend. It's just about playing. You know, in the past, we get to a big game and we tighten up. So I think these guys, they've figured it out, and I think that they believe in themselves. But sometimes you're too smart for your own good in sports, and you overthink, you overanalyze. You're never going to play to your ability. You got to just go out there and play and let all that study and all that work, all that practice you've done just happen. And that's what I think it's going to be about this year, is just letting all that preparation they've done over the last 5-6 years. These guys all work. A lot of them are working in the off season. They're playing on different squads, and just letting it happen and seeing what all that work's done for them. And I think this is going to be a great year, but come talk to me at the end of the year, and it might be a different answer.
Well, good luck to you and your guys going forward. Hopefully, the work that you guys have put in will, you know, lead to you guys, you know, getting towards the end of the year. We'll be in the playoffs, and you guys can get over that hump once you get there. That's going to do it for this episode of Coach's Corner. You can check out this and any other episodes on our video on demand page at our website on WMCT-TV.com.